Myles Garrett has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Where the hell is he going? BetOnline's current odds for locations. Dallas Cowboys 4-1, Commanders 5-1, Chiefs 6-1, Raiders 7-1, 49ers 8-1, Eagles 9-1, Bills 10-1. Doesn't have to be any of the teams on that list. What is the first one that pops up for you that you think makes the most sense?
That Dallas one scares me. It really does, because...
Did you see the video that he recorded when he was coming out? So there's a video of him that he recorded when he was getting drafted.
That Garrett did?
Yeah, this was back when he was the first overall pick before the draft had occurred, and it was literally him looking up at somebody who was holding a camera, and he was saying to Jason Garrett at the time, "You've got Tony Romo and you have Dak Prescott. Trade away Tony Romo and some picks and come get me." He literally, there's a video of him saying that, so he's a big Dallas Cowboys fan.
Well, I think he might have grown on him. He played at Texas A&M, so maybe he felt like Texas fans would have liked him. I don't want Myles Garrett going to the Raiders. I don't want him going to the Giants. I saw an abysmal Photoshop today and a pitch for neighbors and 2 firsts. The Commanders has been floated.
That was a thing. By the way, actually, finish what you're saying, and then I got the Giants angle, of course.
The Commanders was floated. This is exciting for Commanders fans. First time in a while you've actually been a destination that people would want to go to. I would keep my eyes open for NFC North teams. I would keep my eyes open for the Vikings making a play, the Packers making a play, because it just feels like they are a big defensive piece away, and they always are in the market for edge rushers, Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith. It would make sense to me if they made a push. And then Detroit, if you want to really become an absolute steamrolling machine and you lose offensive coach and defensive coach, what helps? All-pro defensive end helps. So I think NFC North he lands in, and then maybe Chicago decides one last final big piece. I really think that division comes out with it.
The Commanders, and I know that they have other issues that they need to address, but the Commanders trading for Myles Garrett feels like such a perfect fit because they're on the up and up. They're in this position to continuously be in the NFC Championship race. Adding Myles Garrett to your defense that already has a really good interior unit, and you have enough cap space to make this work, grabbing Myles Garrett has to be, I think, their priority coming into this draft, especially knowing that this draft class is pretty weak. Get rid of your first-round pick. If you got to give up a future first as well and whatever else you might need to throw in here to make this move happen, you have to. The Giants angle of this was like one of the first things that popped in my head, and all I could think about, this is 1,000% a trade that Joe Shane would make. He would trade away the 3rd overall pick, and he would trade away a bunch of other useful assets, like next year's first-round pick, for them after they went and traded for Brian Burns. So they'd have Kayvon Thibodeau, they'd have Brian Burns, and they'd have Myles Garrett.
Sure.
The most nonsensical defensive alignment. I'm telling you right now, if there is a crazy, ridiculous trade partner here for Myles Garrett, it's the New York Giants, because they just love making trades that aren't helpful, that don't actually make the team a winning team. They give up draft capital when they need young talent. Brian Burns is great. I'm happy they have Brian Burns, but he doesn't get you in the direction that you're trying to go right now because this team stinks.
I would like to see that as a 3-4 defense, though. Make Garrett a 1-tech and then
a
really
1-tech. Shut your mouth.
You know what's even more infuriating for me?
It's overhang.
The longest odds on the Garrett landing spot. You know who's grouped up with the lowly Panthers and the lowly Cardinals? The Atlanta Falcons, who haven't had a pass rush their entire existence.
Do they have the bread to do that?
I don't know. They gotta clear some stuff up. They
Kirk's
gotta get Kirk,
taken up a lot.
Did you see the Kirk news today?
What, did he announce he's retiring?
No, I wish. Week 10, he takes a huge shot and says and admits now that he had a pain in his shoulder and his elbow and his throwing arm because he got lit up. And that was right before their 4-game skid where he started throwing all the picks. And he withheld that information and decided to release it now. So he played like uber injured with the Achilles and the bad arm.
So he's trying to make an excuse.
He's making an excuse. What a jerk.